let's get right to the business.
Read these headlines. This album must be gone. This album must be gone.
Classic albums are. Classic albums are.
Permanent Hip Hop Podcast. What up, y'all? I am your host, Vegas, and welcome to Hip Hop Now Podcast Extra, episode number 19. This is extra, so, we take the time out to focus on one topic at hand. The regular podcast that happens every week will be available on Saturday, and that's when I catch you up on all things hip-hop, music, and culture. Follow me on Twitter at VegasWorldINC. Like the Facebook page, facebook.com/hiphop right now. But let's get right into the business, man. Let's talk about Meek Mill. I think he need our help, man. I think he needs somebody to talk about this. Let's analyze this situation. Now, we know what happened in 2015, summer 2015, not too long after Meek Mill got out of prison. You know what I'm saying? Highly anticipated, released a couple of singles that were dope. Some of them didn't make the album, which kind of bummed me out, but then released an album that was good. It was really good to me. You know what I'm saying? I liked it. But then he got mad at Drake, and then this whole beef ensued where it was supposed to be a hip hop battle, but it was kind of one-sided. You know how it go, back to back. Drake is basically riding high. Meek accusing him of being having ghostwriters and things of that nature. So here we are in 2016. We kind of feel like that's died down somewhat, but Meek is throwing little shots here and there. He releases a EP that I had the opportunity to check out. It's not too bad. You know what I'm saying? About 5 records on there. Couple of shots at Meek. I mean, not at Meek, at Drake. But more importantly, and what kind of boggles my mind, he took a couple of shots at 50 Cent. Which, I'm not sure where they stem from, but who knows? With 50, it stems from something. And so, after catching his L with Drake in 2015, he's clearly catching an L right now with 50 Cent. Not based off of any diss records. Nah. Just Instagram. Straight up Instagram, Twitter fingers, all about. Kind of what, Meek Mill does. And it's a little crazy because not knowing where this is coming from, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, Meek Mill started it, but 50 Cent has made it big, you know what I'm saying? Not just because he's responding, but because his memes are hilarious. I'm going to have a couple of them, new and old, but I'm going to have a couple of them on my blog, hiphoppolitic.com, so you can check it out there. But it's hilarious and it's trending. You know what I'm saying? And it's people are just laughing like, yo, Meek Mill is done. So that's what I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about anybody else like Game giving his 2 cents and all of that. Let's talk about, is Meek Mill finished? Now, with Meek Mill, I don't know what his strategy has been since he went at Drake. I thought I knew before. I thought it was a situation where maybe Drake did something he didn't like, and he's decided to expose a couple of things. But then he didn't really come out with everything. He just kind of hinted at things and, didn't really respond and then tried to move on and take the higher road. Then with this 50 Cent battle, or if you could call it that, he starts it again. And 50 Cent kind of gets the upper hand just based off of Instagram and the hilarious memes. And then Meek kind of takes the high road again with the whole situation. So I don't understand, because I know there's this saying of, it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, at least they're talking about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could not be talking about Meek at all. I think that works for a Floyd Mayweather, right? Because with Floyd, he wins. Regardless of you can't beat him. He beats them. He wins. He just wins. As much as some people may despise him, as much as they wanted to see him lose, they cannot deny he has skill because everybody they said was going to knock him out, he beat them, easily beat them, by the way. But with Meek Mill, that's not the case. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like when this whole Drake battle started, I thought Meek Mill would have the upper hand because I thought he was just a better rapper, period. Not better songs commercially and hits and catchy phrases. I'm just talking about bar for bar. I thought that he was a better, more potent MC than Drake. I think Drake is a dope rapper when he can be, or if he's writing it, because who knows. But I thought when it just came to just listening to them both on some raw MCing, you would think Meek would have the upper hand. But it just felt like he didn't even try. You know what I'm saying? And when he did on that one response record, it sounded like it was turning off as soon as he started getting into it. And even the shots he took at 50 were kind of light. And, you know, for him to like kind of renege on those and say, I'm moving on, I got money, I bought a Wraith and all this. It was just like, well, first of all, you don't have money than both of them. You don't have more money than Drake. I don't think you have more money than 50, because let's not get it twisted. Bankruptcy for 50 is not bankruptcy for dark-skinned Jermaine that live on a block. Dark-skinned Jermaine who live on the block was already broke. It's just that the debt is about to put him on the streets. 50 Cent is to the point where it's a tactic to protect investments. So let's be clear. Meek doesn't have more money than both these dudes. So saying, and I don't like to count nobody else's money because, I mean, they all got more money than me. So, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is like, how is that a tactic to get back at them? You know what I'm saying? You're not really trying to spit when it comes to bars. You're not really trying to out-thug 50. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like maybe you could out-thug. Well, he didn't really try to out-thug Drake. Like, you know what I'm saying? He just really had no angle. It was just like he was starting these things for some reason. But the thing is, when I brought up Floyd Mayweather, right? It's all about your brand and protecting your brand. See, Meek exists, his income exists in a world of consumers buying into who he is, his brand, you know what I'm saying, and buying his music and going to his concerts. But just like with Ja Rule, if you continuously let your brand come under attack, it's no longer strong. It gets to a point where it doesn't matter what you have to say. Even if it's good, even if it's true, valid, whatever way you want to spin it, it gets to the point where it doesn't even matter. People just see you as something that's whack or done. Like with Ja Rule, when it happened to Ja Rule, let's not forget, Ja Rule was hot at the time. And it wasn't we really hate him, thank God 50 came along and got rid of him. Of course, there were certain people who didn't like him. I never bought a Ja Rule album, but I liked a lot of his records around that time. But 50 Cent came out and made him seem like all of the records you like were whack. Ja Rule was whack, all of that. And even when Ja Rule came back years later and he had the joint New York with Fat Joe and Jadakiss, I thought he had the best verse on there. I thought the song was hot. But you know what? It did not matter how talented or nice or how hard the beat was. He couldn't shake the damage that was done to his brand by 50 Cent and G-Unit. And with Meek, he already took the L with Drake, which is monumental because Drake just has the bigger audience and he has the ladies. Now he taking the L from 50, who was really on a decline, not necessarily musically, because I thought his last mixtape was all right. The Kanan tape, you can get that on Dat Piff and livemixtapes.com. It's free. But I think it just makes people pay more attention to the people who are winning. And it's just L on top of L for Meek Mill. Like he's becoming a poster child for what not to do in the age of social media. Like 50 is always prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like now I'll say this, right? The only person to escape 50's wrath when it comes to his social media attack, his lyrical attack, was Rick Ross. because at the point in time where 50 was going hard with that Officer Ricky, remember when he had the porno flick with his wife in it? Supposedly, 50 had nothing to do with it. He just kind of narrated it or whatever. But he was really going in on Rick Ross. But that is also around the time Rick Ross had two of his best and biggest albums. Clearly, two of his best and biggest. You know what I'm saying? No debate, because I really like those two albums, which is Teflon Don and Deeper Than Rap. Two of his biggest albums, his biggest hits around the time 50 was just all hands on deck, attacking his brand, his character, and all of that. But with Meek Mill, he's not returning anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, he took the Drake L, right? 2016 comes. We think Dream Chasers number 4, I believe, is coming. So we thinking, oh, he gonna answer. He gonna have some hot joints. We gonna forget about the L he took in 2015, and it's gonna be it. But yet he releases an EP that's not Dream Chasers. That's Just Okay. And he's dissing 50 Cent. And now 50 is making him look bad. And it's like, yo, back-to-back years with the L. Now every time you with your lady, people going to be like, that's her money. I mean, it's... and let me just say this too. I probably should have said it at the beginning, but I'm going to say it now. I am not a blind hater of Meek Mill. I like Meek Mill. I still like Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like he's dope. I don't feel like 50, because I heard 50 at one point wanted to sign Meek Mill. I don't feel like Meek Mill's style is whack. Nobody ever said that before the battle stuff happened. Nobody ever said that. Everybody liked him. I think where they started to dislike him is when he started to become, this whiny dude in social media. But the thing is Meek has to let us in on the grievance. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to know what were your true motivations behind starting these beefs, and I got air quotes up for beefs, and not really seeing them through. You know what I'm saying? Like, was it a battle thing? You know what I'm saying? It couldn't have been to bolster record sales because, I mean, well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he saw a small jump when he had the situation with Drake. But the thing is, it's like, people, you don't want to be remembered because, like, look at, he could be quiet until 2018. You know what I'm saying? Besides maybe a guest appearance here and there. He's done. The only memory people ever gonna, and on the internet, they don't want to let nothing go. So the only image people are gonna have in their heads is the L he took to Drake and what he took he sent with the whole Instagram thing, and they're gonna call him Twitter fingers, and they just not gonna let any of it go. There's nothing he's gonna be able to do short of retiring. I don't even think he can just roll up on Drake or any one of them and knock him out and people even care. Because it's about your brand, Meek. You can't systematically allow your brand to be broken down to the point where, how you gonna eat, man? Meek Mill ain't acting. He's not, you know what I'm saying? You don't really hear too much about his business ventures. Not saying that he doesn't have any. But it just doesn't look good when the main thing you do to get your bread is looking real bad now. So it doesn't matter what comes out your mouth. People just be like, oh, here we go, Twitter fingers. I mean, you could have switched to a gospel rapper. People won't be ready for you. Like, yo, he talk about the Lord, but whatever. What about this L you took over here? So I don't know, man. I'm still hopeful for Meek Mill, but it's not looking good, man. But yo, that's going to do it for me. Visit the blog hiphoppolitic.com. Follow me on Twitter at VegasWorldINC. Like the Facebook page, facebook.com/hiphop right now. You don't have to do all of them. Just do one of them. But what you must do is subscribe and tell a friend. This podcast and more available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud.com/hiphoppolitic. And I also have a YouTube channel. I'm building the content, but if you need to find me, You can go to the blog, or you can search the user on YouTube. I believe it's VEGUSS 2001. VEGUSS.